Hurricane Melissa has made landfall in Jamaica, where sheltering residents brace themselves against ferocious winds, heavy floodwaters, and landslides from the Category 5 storm, one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history. Videos and photographs published by local newspapers painted a devastating portrait of the impact. Roads transformed into raging rivers, downed power lines and trees, and roofs ripped off buildings by the power of the winds. Hurricane Melissa is wreaking absolute havoc on Jamaica's breadbasket parish. The Jamaica Observer reported from St. Elizabeth in the southwest of the island. Our thoughts and prayers are with our citizens in that part of the island as we give you the assurance that we will be with you throughout, mobilizing support and relief, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, tweeted as the storm pummeled the region on Tuesday afternoon. The slow-moving colossus is the most intense hurricane to hit Jamaica since records began in 1851 and will linger over the island for hours before turning northeast. Matthew Capucci, an American meteorologist who flew through the eye of the storm on Sunday, called the experience scientifically stunning and horrifying from a humanitarian standpoint. Millions of people could awaken Wednesday to devastation, shattered communities, an unrecognizable landscape, and scarring that will take decades to mend, he wrote in the Washington Post. In Portmore, a community on Jamaica's southeastern coast, Mercy Corps advisor Colin Bogle said he had been woken by a loud explosion and everything went dark. Outside, trees are being violently tossed in the wind, and the noise is relentless, he added. In a televised address to the nation, the president of Cuba, which Melissa is expected to hit next, warned citizens the storm could be one of the most severe, or possibly the strongest ever to hit the island. "We want to emphasize the magnitude of this event," said Miguel Diaz-Canel, urging Cubans not to return to their homes from shelters. Wind speeds dropped to 145 miles per hour as the storm moved across Jamaica, making it a Category 4 storm, but it was still expected to cause widespread infrastructure damage and flooding. Jamaica's government said it had done all it could to prepare, issuing a mandatory evacuation of low-lying areas, as it warned of severe impact for the nation's 2.8 million people. Desmond McKenzie, the deputy chair of Jamaica's Disaster Risk Management Council, urged people on Tuesday to seek shelter and stay indoors as the storm crosses the island. "Jamaica, this is not the time to be brave," he said. The streets in the capital, Kingston, remained largely empty on Tuesday, with footage showing trees bent over by the force of the wind. "There is no infrastructure in the region that can withstand a Category 5, said Holness. "The question now is the speed of recovery. That's the challenge." Category 5 is the highest on the Saffir-Simpson scale, with sustained winds exceeding 157 miles per hour, 250 kilometers per hour. The U.S. National Hurricane Center reported that Melissa carried sustained wind speeds of 185 miles per hour, 298 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts. It's a catastrophic situation expected in Jamaica, the World Meteorological Organization's tropical cyclone specialist, and Claire Fontaine, told a Geneva press briefing. "For Jamaica, it will be the storm of the century for sure." Heavy rain knocked out power for some residents in Portland, St. Thomas, St. Andrew, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland, including in popular tourist destinations such as Negril and Treasure Beach. One particularly badly hit area was Manchester Parish, which has faced days of torrential rain and violent winds as the storm approached. One resident, Emma Sims, 37, said she had made a makeshift shelter within a cupboard in her house, where she intended to relocate with her 1-year-old and 4-year-old. "I've tried to make it nice and comfortable. There's snacks in there, there's water in there," she said. "If things sound like the house isn't going to hold up, then I'm just going to go in there. We're going to stick a mattress on top of us and just keep my children happy until it passes. Try to make it fun and exciting.
But it's so rough.
Sims, a data analyst and transport consultant, moved to Jamaica from the UK 6 years ago and experienced her first Jamaican hurricane when Beryl devastated the country last summer. I feel like this is already worse than Beryl already, and it hasn't even landed yet, she said. I feel like I've got people to protect, like I need to keep it together. But my belly has been feeling different than it has for the last few days. I can definitely feel the anxiety in me. The chief meteorologist at AccuWeather, Jonathan Porter, said Melissa would be the strongest hurricane in recorded history to hit Jamaica directly. Landslides were reported before the storm, with officials in Jamaica cautioning that the cleanup and damage assessment would be slow. The storm entered near St. Elizabeth Parish in the south and was expected to exit in the north, forecasters said. Total structural failure is possible near the path of Melissa's center, said the U.S. National Hurricane Center, which is based in Miami. A life-threatening storm surge of up to 13 feet, for meters, was expected across southern Jamaica, with officials concerned about the impact on some hospitals along the coastline. The health minister, Christopher Tufton, said some patients were being relocated from the ground floor to the second floor, and we hope that will suffice for any surge that will take place. The storm is already thought to have caused 7 deaths in the Caribbean, including 3 in Jamaica, 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic, where another person remains missing. Melissa is so unusually strong that the U.S. military said it had moved its forces, likely to be ships and aircraft, in the vicinity of the storm to safer areas. Climate scientists have said the intensification of Hurricane Melissa, with winds doubling from 70 miles per hour to 140 miles per hour in just a day, is probably a symptom of the rapid heating of the world's oceans, part of the human-driven climate crisis. Leanne Archer, a research associate in climate extremes at the University of Bristol, said, "There has been a perfect storm of conditions leading to the colossal strength of Hurricane Melissa. A warm ocean which has fueled its rapid intensification over the last few days, but it is also moving slowly, meaning more rain can fall while it moves across land."
Live from the front of Portmore Pines.
Most of these conditions have been supercharged by the extra heat in our oceans and atmosphere due to climate change. A warmer ocean means more energy, more strength, and more moisture in the warmer atmosphere means more rain can fall with a higher intensity. Last year, the world's oceans were the warmest on record, continuing a recent trend of record-breaking marine heat. And a 2023 study found that Atlantic hurricanes are now more than twice as likely as before to intensify rapidly from minor storms to powerful and catastrophic events. After Jamaica, Melissa is forecast to cross Cuba and the Bahamas by Wednesday. The UN's International Organization for Migration, IOM, said on Tuesday that it would send solar lamps, blankets, indoor tents, generators, and other items from its logistics hub in Barbados to Jamaica as soon as the storm crossed the island. Many people are likely to be displaced from their homes and in urgent need of shelter and relief, said Natasha Greaves, interim head for IOM Jamaica. Jamaica's power provider, JPS, said about 470,000 homes, roughly 69% of its customers, were without electricity. A Jamaican senator told NBC News that medical facilities in the coastal town of Black River had been destroyed. Black River Hospital, located on the southwestern coast of Jamaica, has sustained severe damage and service has been disrupted due to Hurricane Melissa, health officials said. Despite the disruption, members of the health team are working tirelessly to ensure the continued care and safety of all patients, with efforts underway to restore full functionality, the Jamaican Health Ministry said. The president of Cuba, Miguel Diaz-Canel, urged residents to move to shelters ahead of Hurricane Melissa, which is expected to make landfall in eastern Cuba overnight. We want to stress again how big this event is and the need for people to understand the risk it poses because of its scale, Diaz-Canel said in a statement. Wind speeds above 260 kilometers per hour can destroy any facility that is not properly prepared. So we are once again asking everyone to use the time left before the hurricane arrives to move to safe areas to face this hurricane. In the Sierra Maestra Mountains in the province of Santiago de Cuba, people tell the Associated Press that they used all kinds of transportation to evacuate from the most isolated areas, including buses, trucks, and even horse-drawn carts. Some of those fleeing their residences in remote areas huddled into the home of 83-year-old Edgeviges Figueroa at the foot of the Sierra Maestra Mountains that was being used as a makeshift shelter. "We're helping as best we can," she said. "Now I'm cooking for everyone." As of Tuesday, there were already some 20 people in her home. Streets have emptied in Cuba's second-largest city as people in Santiago de Cuba rush to prepare for the storm. State television shows people rounding up animals and protecting crops in areas outside the city of over 1 million residents. "May God have mercy on us, because it's coming with a lot of strength," resident Diamond Mendoza says. "Anything can happen." Work crews in recent days have pruned trees, unblocked drains, and removed debris to prepare.
Water to roof height. Firemen up here do rescue work. People get trapped in a house.
It's getting real bad out there now. Basically in a shingle snow globe.
Main Street,
Santa Cruz,
Santa Cruz,
man.
Vicinity, Mothers, JN, Morrison, Coles Farm Store.